You've been in a relationship for 3 years, but the last 2 have been miserable. You've invested 5 years in a degree you hate, but you're too close to quit now. You've been at a soul-crushing job for a decade, but you've built up seniority and benefits. You know these situations are making you unhappy, but you can't seem to leave. I'm Bear, and today I'm going to explain why intelligent people often trap themselves in bad situations and how the sunk cost fallacy becomes a prison for smart minds. The sunk cost trap explained. The sunk cost fallacy is when you continue investing in something that isn't working because you've already invested so much. The logic feels sound. I can't quit now after everything I've put into this. But sunk costs are gone forever, regardless of what you do next. The time, money, and energy you've already spent shouldn't determine future decisions, but it does because throwing it away feels wasteful. Smart people are especially vulnerable because they're good at calculating investments and hate admitting mistakes. They can rationalize staying in bad situations better than anyone else. Their intelligence becomes a weapon against their own happiness. The investment identity. When you invest heavily in something, it becomes part of your identity. The law student isn't just studying law, they are becoming a lawyer. The long-term relationship isn't just dating, it's building toward marriage. The corporate climber isn't just working, they're establishing their career trajectory. Leaving means abandoning not just the investment, but the version of yourself that made it. This identity shift feels like death of who you thought you were. Smart people often have strong ego investments in being right about their choices, making it harder to admit when those choices were wrong. The escalation commitment. Once you're trapped by sunk costs, the situation often gets worse through escalation of commitment. Each additional investment makes leaving feel even more impossible. You stay in the bad relationship another year because of the 3 years you've already invested. You complete the degree because you're already in debt. You stay at the job because leaving now would waste your experience. This creates a vicious cycle where bad situations get worse because you keep adding to your investment, hoping to finally make it worthwhile. Instead of cutting your losses, you double down repeatedly. Fear of starting over. Smart people often have complex life plans and high standards for efficiency. Starting over feels like a massive setback that threatens their entire timeline. If you leave that relationship at 30, you have to start dating again. If you change careers at 35, you're back at entry level while peers advance. If you quit that degree, you're behind everyone who's stuck with their plan. This fear ignores the reality that starting over often leads to better outcomes than staying stuck. But intelligent people struggle with the apparent inefficiency of abandoning their investment to begin again somewhere else. The rationalization machine. Intelligence can become a curse when it comes to bad decisions. Smart people are excellent at finding reasons to justify staying in situations they should leave. They create elaborate explanations for why this situation is actually okay, or will get better, or is building character. They analyze all the rational reasons to stay while ignoring their emotional and intuitive signals screaming to get out. They convince themselves that feelings are unreliable and logic is supreme, not realizing that their logic is being distorted by cognitive biases. The success prison. Sometimes smart people stay in bad situations precisely because they're succeeding in them. You might hate your corporate job but be excellent at it. Your relationship might be emotionally empty but functionally stable. Your career might be financially rewarding but spiritually crushing. Success creates golden handcuffs. You're trapped by your own competence in areas that don't fulfill you. Walking away from success feels especially irrational, even when that success is making you miserable. Loss aversion amplified. Smart people are often particularly susceptible to loss aversion, the psychological principle that losing something feels worse than gaining something of equal value. They focus intensely on what they'd lose by leaving rather than what they could gain by staying. They calculate the sunk costs in detail while undervaluing potential future benefits. The concrete losses feel more real than hypothetical gains, even when those gains could dramatically improve their quality of life. The perfectionist's dilemma. Many intelligent people are also perfectionists who hate admitting failure. Leaving a situation feels like admitting they made the wrong choice initially. Their ego investment in being right keeps them stuck in situations they know are wrong. Breaking free from the trap. Escaping the sunk cost trap starts with reframing the decision. Instead of asking, "How can I justify this investment?" ask, "If I were starting fresh today, would I choose this situation?" This removes the emotional weight of past investments from current decision-making. Recognize that cutting your losses is often the smartest long-term strategy. The time and energy you save by leaving can be invested in something better. Staying stuck prevents you from finding opportunities that actually align with your values and goals. The courage to pivot. Smart people need to develop comfort with pivoting and changing course. Life is long enough to have multiple careers, relationships, and identities. The person who changes direction when they realize they're on the wrong path is wiser than the person who stubbornly continues just to avoid admitting error. Bear's final word. Intelligence is a gift, but it can become a prison when it prevents you from changing course. The smartest decision isn't always continuing what you started. It's having the wisdom to recognize when something isn't working and the courage to choose differently. Your sunk costs are already gone. The question isn't how to justify them, but how to make the best choice for your future. Sometimes the most intelligent thing you can do is admit you were wrong and start over. Because staying stuck in the wrong situation isn't smart, it's just stubborn.